Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another Dying Light 2 video. Today we are discussing the key issues that remain in Dying Light 2. As I'm sure you know, Dying Light 2 has had a wide variety of improvements and is in a much better state now than it was at launch, but there is always room for improvements, and some of the more pressing issues with the core mechanics and gameplay are still in the game. This video is here for me to be the voice of the community. Everything mentioned in this video are issues that the Dying Light 2 community collectively share, other than one. If you guys enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's try and get to 20k by July. I really think it's possible. I also just want to thank you for all the birthday messages on my 5th of January video. There were so many comments wishing me a happy birthday, and those comments were really nice to read, and I realized I never actually thanked you all in person. And just one more thing, allow me to introduce you to the proud sponsor of this channel, WRAITH Energy. Do you get home from work or school feeling too tired to do anything, or when gaming you slowly start performing worse? Well, I have the perfect solution, WRAITH Energy. WRAITH Energy is a caffeine fueled drink mix that has energy boosting ingredients. Not only this, but this shit bussin'. They actually sent me a few flavors to try, and I have to say that they were all really nice, but my favorite has to be pear drop. I love pears, and this tasted just like a pear, and after you drink it, trust me, you feel the energy boost. But there's over 20 flavors to choose from, so try them for yourself. All you have to do is take one serving with a spoon provided, drop it into the shaker with water, and give it a shake. So if you guys want to help me in my content creation, click the link in the description or at the top of the comments and make a purchase of WRAITH Energy using the code Jahmy20 at checkout for 20% off. Anyway, let's get back to the video. So let's get started. The first issue I'm going to be talking about is a very major issue, probably the most noticeable, and that is the lighting. The lighting in Dying Light 2 is a serious issue. In community update number 3, we actually saw the addition of a bloom option, which finally removed the blinding lights from the game. So that was one step in the right direction. However, the lighting in the game is objectively still a major issue, particularly the fact that it is so dark in certain areas. And how does it make sense that at daytime you need your flashlight to see? For example, if you go inside a building, even if there are windows or it's a complete open space, it is virtually pitch black and you need your flashlight to be able to see. Going into any shade in the map is also extremely dark, unnaturally dark, and that is without any filters on. If you apply the gritty filter, good luck seeing anything at all. The gritty filter just makes daytime lighting absolutely terrible, even worse than it already is, and that's the case of literally every other filter as well. Dying Light 1 had impeccable lighting which created a much better atmosphere, and guess what? You didn't need to use a flashlight to see during the day. The lighting in Dying Light 1 was genuinely realistic and the game looked far less cartoony. I think a major contribution to the fact that people say Dying Light 2 looks cartoony so often is the lighting itself in the game. Here is a snippet from the E3 trailer which we got before the launch of Dying Light 2, and the lighting looks so good, and you can see just how much impact the lighting has on the overall image. And do you want to know why the lighting looks so good in this trailer? Because the trailer was made using Dying Light 1's engine. In my opinion, Dying Light 2 needs a complete lighting rework because this engine's lighting is really poor. The darker areas in the map need to be brightened up so that you can see, and it isn't a constant battle between light and dark and constantly toggling the flashlight on and off to balance between seeing or an awful flashlight that removes the depth and washes out the image. This brings me on to my next point, the absolutely atrocious flashlight that is currently in Dying Light 2. The current flashlight is static with no flashlight inertia. It is too bright instead of having a lower opacity and looking like a normal flashlight. The radius of the flashlight is also far too wide and virtually brightens up the entire screen instead of a certain area. There is no depth to the flashlight which leads to a washed out image, and the fact that there are no shadows in the flashlight also contribute to this flattened out image. The range of the flashlight is also far too long. You would think it was a helicopter searchlight, the range at which this thing lights up the entire street. But yeah, for real though, the flashlight really needs to be improved, and it's one of the worst game flashlights I've ever seen. We do know that we will be getting a nightmare difficulty soon with a changed flashlight, and hopefully some of the things I mentioned will see an improvement. For example, if we look at the trailer, we can see that the flashlight lens is narrower and we can see some flashlight inertia as the light is moving. And guess what? There's actually shadows from the volatile. Now I'm sure this was a cutscene made with the game's engine, but hopefully we still see these features soon. The next issue in the game is the co-op. Dying Light 2 is marketed as a game built for co-op. But it couldn't be further from it. Co-op is a buggy mess and it needs real polishing. The third person animations are nearly all goofy, with limbs entering each other or popping out of place. Some moves don't even have animations like the head stomp and the wall run kick, which I've been saying for months. There are also server issues in Dying Light 2's co-op which can cause lag even if players are on full bars, like random running glitches or teleporting players. In Dying Light 1, the co-op is polished and consistent. There is virtually no lag at all and it is overall a very smooth smooth experience. The reason this issue is so big is because online game modes are coming soon, like the new co-op missions and tower raid. This is why I think it is vital that co-op is polished before these modes come out. The same applies to any other game modes they add in the future, such as a Beat a Zombie mode. As co-op is right now, I can only imagine how buggy a Beat a Zombie PvP mode would be. Now, I made a post on my channel asking you guys what the main issues in Dying Light 2 were, and this next issue is the one that I saw the most, and that is the map design. The world of Villador is extremely bland and repetitive. This is due to the copy and pasted designs all over the map. The interiors of buildings are virtually all the same, and the in-game activities like military convoys and dark zones also all look the same. Copy and pasted designs can also be seen in the metros around the map. All of these repeated interiors make traversing Villador boring and uninteresting. There are very few unique or diverse locations in Dying Light 2, and I think a map redesign would work wonders for Dying Light 2, with some more unique areas to explore and a wider variety of interior designs rather than the same interior copy pasted in 50 different buildings. Something else that I think needs improvement are some of the core mechanics like the airbags around the map. I'm sorry, but these airbags have to be the goofiest thing I've ever seen. These things move like you're in a Looney Tune. The bags need to be changed so that your momentum carries through when jumping onto them, and you move in a direction while falling. Instead of jumping onto it and then it freezes midair, turns 90 degrees, and then drops straight down to the ground. That's all that has to be said on that. Another core mechanic is the biter grabs. These grabs happen way too often, and every biter just spams this move, and it is annoying as hell. Tekken reduced the biter grabs before, but even still it is just far too common. Like, the first thing every zombie does is go for a grab, when I feel like they should be swinging more and stop constantly removing the control from the player and pausing the gameplay, which does become mildly infuriating, especially when paired with the hellspawn viral leaps that have aimbot. I swear, sometimes I see these guys jump past me and then my screen will do a 180 and I get jumped from the opposite angle by the same guy who just flew past me. And the issue of them hitting an invisible barrier is also still there. I'm not sure why they don't fall off the edge of buildings when they miss a leap. They added this for volatiles, but for some reason not virals. The next issue I have is the vaulting in Dying Light 2. At low level, I think it is fine to be slow at parkour, you know, since you're getting a feel to the game. But by the time I reach max level, I want to be able to parkour quick without losing momentum. And there have been many improvements made which were good to the momentum of Dying Light 2, but these vaults that sometimes take far too long are really annoying. And there's one type of vault in Dying Light 2 that is perfect, which is this one. As you can see, this vault flows perfectly with the parkour and doesn't feel like a pause to your gameplay or like you're giving up control for a second. But then you get vaults like these. These vaults can be so irritating when you're having fun doing parkour and then suddenly you lose all your momentum by hitting this vault. The way I would like to see this fixed is by removing this slow vault from the high level characters, making it so that you can only fast vault like this one, or adding some new vaults that are faster. This way there are no more annoying ass slow vaults that pause gameplay. Another option is to add this to the legend level tree, making vaulter faster and removing slow vaults. This vault animation right here, this one, it needs to just be gone. I hate it so much. Now the last issue that I'm going to dive into is one that isn't spoken about too much in my opinion, but one I would like to bring up nevertheless, and that is co-op community maps. In case you didn't know, as of right now, community maps can only be done solo, and I have seen no information with regards to them even having co-op integration in mind. So I want to put this out there so maybe it can be seen and brought to Techland's attention. Community maps are really fun, and 2024 has a lot in store for community maps, since the dev tools are constantly improving and seeing new features, making the potential for community maps endless. And what better way to enjoy these new maps than with a friend? With the addition of co-op to community maps, it also increases the creativity that can be achieved within the maps themselves. Do you remember that old game called Fireboy and Water Girl? Well, imagine a co-op community map where you and your friends solve puzzles and work together to open doors, like holding levers for each other, etc. I think it could be great fun, and that's just one of the examples of how co-op could elevate the community maps to the next level. And there's also a major community map coming out soon, which is the Elysium map. In case you didn't know, the Renaissance team, which are the people working on this map, are basically making the entire of the E3 Elysium map, and it's going to be a playable custom map with its own story missions, side missions, and everything. And I think it's a shame that as of right now, this would only be able to be played solo, and I wouldn't be able to enjoy this map with a friend, as I usually would. So there we have it, we've reached the end of this video. I was going to include lack of replayable in-game content, however, since tower raid, guns, and new missions are coming, I will wait to see if they are good or not before I go into that side of things. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.